All right, it's me, I'm back. Just one of many, many I have to tell. So this is how I have a unique perspective on what's happening. And and I just wanted to let that out, that this is the how I get the perspective I get, because I've had experiences. Nature be a little more in charge, and wherever I end is where I end. It's just the way it is. The tiniest part of my whole story. It seems like everything's going to be fine, but it bothers me a little bit that that I have this itching. So I'm doing anything I can to keep my mind off of it. Can I tell a 5-minute story about Lexi? So this is Alexis. Is her full name. And wow, this is such a good story. I cannot tell this in 5 minutes. There is no way I can tell. I mean, I'm trying to tell it out of context and not give the entire context, and just tell the shortest part of the story and tell the rest later. But that is not easy to do. Because I want to mention that not only was I seeing her, but I was seeing another girl with the name Alexis. I didn't know either of these girls had that first name. I didn't know either one before I met them. I didn't know either one had the first name of Alexis. As it turns out, I was seeing two girls with the same, most common female name, Alexis. That's not common at all. Now, the one girl, the other girl, she went by Alex for short. And this was, all right, let's go through. And by the way, I wasn't talking about in the other video, I wasn't talking about all the stuff I've had that I could talk about. What I was talking about is all the stuff that has happened to me that I could talk about. And this is just some of what has happened to me. And I'm still thinking about Lexi, but the picture that's here is this Mercedes. This went to Austria. And the reason this went to Austria is because of that red leather. He said, no, this is, they only put the red interiors on cars specifically being exported to the United States. And of the cars being exported to the United States, only 10% or so had the red leather interior. Most had either the gray or the tan interior. So this is how I've been used. Now, all right, come on, you got a lot of use out of me. And what can we do about that? And every one of these things has a story, but some a lot more than others. I have no on any of my videos, except for one comment, which may or may not have been an AI comment. I thought just one person, if one person leaves a comment telling me to tell more of the story, more of maybe my whole story, or tell of the planning day, or that's just one thing. I mean, so this is how I have a unique perspective on what's happening, and and I just wanted to let that out, that this is the how I get the perspective I get, because I've had experiences. I am so sidetracked. I am so distracted by my thinking right now. My thinking is so distracted that it's getting close to unsafe for me to drive. I can drive the thing straight down the road. I mean, I got no problem physically driving. All right, yeah, there's no problem with me driving. There never is. That's why I was the designated driver to all the concerts that we went to when we were younger. I could do acid and make it to the Spectrum or one of those other places in Philadelphia that had the Doors or the Grateful Dead or the Crosby, Stills and Nash. Is the only one capable of keeping my head together well enough to be able to drive in and out of town and safely, and everybody trusted me to get them home, and I never let anybody down. Or I'm thinking about what I said, like, should I let people know about my past? Of course, why not? What? If it's apropos, then tell it. Is the way. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm thinking. So, as far as I know, I'm talking with strangers right now. So it's serious, and that's what I need to slow down a little. Traffic would right now we have a scheduled delivery pretty much in LA for that's Michelle, by the way, 30 or 40 miles away, so that I could drive into town at 2 a.m. and make that delivery safely, and then I could get to the Ontario truck stop, giant, huge. I'd be okay. So from there, I checked myself into a hospital, hoping they might have some medication, and then there's a huge story all around the hospital. Doesn't matter. Then I flew home. Another huge story all about that. Doesn't matter. Because we're going to go out of context. And what I'm going to say is we decided that after I did have the biggest episode, we'll call it. I guess that's what the psychiatric field calls. They call it an episode. That sounds good. I like it. It's nice and clinical. So the big episode. All right, this is serious. I did have, and that's when I have a really tight communication, really close communication with nature and the planners and everything else. There must be a way to measure. I'm thinking about as far as scientific, as far as physics, and there just must be some way to measure what I'm talking about. And sooner or later, maybe somebody will figure out a way. But because it does affect, nature just actually affects the way we operate, the way we think, and it's and keeping any kind of deity out. Just talking about nature. So just talking about it like that, and let's keep imagination out of it. There's a whole other tangent I could go off on about imagination and about Jesus and all that. Is it necessary to imagine him, or is he real? Which is it? Because if you have to hear his story, otherwise all these these people that go around. Yeah, I'm ruining my time. I know. Missionaries go around to tell the story, and I'm like, well, does he have to be imagined, or is he real? Which is it? Because if he's real, you don't have to imagine him. Some kid in Africa could be calling him Fred right now. Has a lifelong buddy he talks to all the time. Then he gets to the pearly gates and they go, yeah, I've been talking with Fred all my life. Oh, that's not his right name. You go and burn in hell now because you don't know his story. You have to know his story or you don't get in. That's so I decided that if I really want to have a girlfriend someday, that I should at least try to be good at sex. That would be a good idea, right? So I decided this makes total logical sense to me. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to go onto the back pages there. I'm going to find a prostitute and I'm going to learn how to be a good lover. And that way, when I finally find someone, I'll be a good... Well, let's get back to serious, and because I'm feeling self-conscious is what causes the laughter. Lexi was the girl I went to. I stopped I was compelled to stop the car along the side of the highway in the snow, because it was January, I believe. And they asked me if that's the one, and I said yes. And so I went and learned a little bit from her. And by the third or fourth time, it came clear to me that she was a heroin addict. Not only was she a heroin addict, but I did go see the other girl that I briefly talked about. That was just a beautiful, beautiful girl. And a real nice girl. Both of these girls are nice. And she also had that problem. And the amount, now Lexi was far worse. The other girl was not near, Alex was not near as bad off. She could kind of more or less still call her own shots. But Lexi was so deep in that the amount of money that she had to make per day was ridiculous. And she somehow did it. nature, again, pushing us all along to do whatever it is we have to do to survive, allowed that, of course. And even the first detox, they had to get some food and stuff in. I mean, her blood pressure was so low, and it was very difficult. She had, and my neighbors, who I lost contact with for over 10 years, not the guy, but his wife, who I used to be really close friends with. She misunderstood what was going on, and so she was part of the plan, of nature's plan, because she, by being mean to me, made me dig in all that harder to do what I have to do. Once I found out that she had that problem, she has to be helped. She has to be. And it took 9 months, and 8 detoxes before it finally took. I told her, whenever she's ready to go, give me a call and I'll take you. Day or night, 24 hours a day. I'm not doing anything else. Whenever you need a ride to the detox. So again, a lot. 8 times. And insurance is such a bitch. I mean, you can't hardly do any. They detox you and then throw you back out on the street. That's what they do to heroin addicts that want to get clean. All they want to, they're having a moment of clarity. They realize they're fucking up their lives. They want to get clean. They call, and then there's a 2-day wait for a bed. They're lucky to make it 2 days. And so I would be there, and I would be with her for those 2 days while we waited for a bed, and I would help them see that she got there. All right, and I learned a lot. I, of course, stopped any fooling around, so I didn't get much practice with her. I didn't get very much at all, because as soon as I found out her condition, then I never saw her again for anything other than to help her. That's it. That's the way that should be. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure the Hippocratic Oath, probably the first thing it says is do no further harm. We all know that I have a whole lot more on that story and leading up and after. And I'm going to leave it up to the general public, which my general public consists of about 4 or 5 people, I think. So it's cool, because I probably couldn't handle a whole lot more than that right now in my head. There might be a stranger or two among that 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know. I mean, I've got 8 followers, so that's cool. I only know 2 of my 8 subscribers. And I also know 2 are probably strangers of my 8. So anyway, of anybody that sees this video, if you want me to finish the story about Michelle, about Aneda, or oh boy, I haven't even talked about Aneda, and I haven't talked about Michelle. That was nature effing with me. See, I'm supposed to say whatever comes into my head. I'm not going to say that word. I can't. I don't want to. All right, it's for adults. Fucking. But that's what the word I was given. Instead of effing, I said effing. Nature would have had me say the other. I don't know. I'm busy explaining how my mind is working. That I'm so ridiculous. But am I? And so this is for someone to tell me. Anyway, if you all want to hear any more, but apparently I've decided to be out there again, and so this is quite interesting, and there's a lot more story. So if you all like the stories, and what I was going to say, originally I thought just one message telling me to tell more is all I need, but no, I'm going to make it more interesting than that. It has to be 2. I have to get 2 messages telling me to tell more about nature, tell more about the girls, or tell more about my life story and how nature is involved in it, and tell more of my what has happened with me my entire life. I've had experiences that I can maybe as strong as as interesting. Okay, it's the I'm going to stop right here, and then I'll be working for another day or two editing it down. But before I do that, I'll probably release the full, and 3 people, maybe, if I'm lucky, will see the full. And I don't know, probably they're just 3 of my friends and looking after me, and that's fine. I am fine with that. And if it's 3 strangers, I'm fine with that too. Just going with the flow. Okay, that's it. 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 20 seconds.